See, in terms of qualification, I have a doctorate, which is around marketing and strategy. We will, as we progress, become familiar with these words. Okay. In terms of experience, I have nearly 46 years of experience, which spans over corporate, teaching, mentoring, coaching, uh, researching, all sorts of things. So I have been doing all sorts of things. The interest is varied. In terms of personal life, of course, I'm married. I have a daughter who lives in Australia and a son who lives in Canada. And my wife and I live here alone. I mean, ourselves. The reason being that we are equidistant from both the son and the daughter. And in any case, I'm more comfortable in India than other place. I have worked in most parts of the world, excepting the Americas, and it has been a great journey. Now, at my age, I'm 66. The sole reason for me getting into this is that my ambition lives on, but the age does not support me. So the only way I thought I could do this is to see it in your successes. Okay. So whatever I want to share, whatever experiences I've got, whatever knowledge I've got, and arm you. And वो कहते हैं गुरु गुड़ ही रह गया चेला चीनी. I want all of you to be the sweetest sugars going. So that's the long and short of me. Now, shall we start alphabetically? So, Arya, would you like to tell us something about yourself?
So a very good evening, sir. I'm Arya Singh and I'm pursuing my graduation in Vasanta College for Women. This is who I am, and I'm here looking forward to see myself at great heights. That's why I've joined these classes. So I was really interested in doing.
Go on.
And I'm really looking to learn a lot from all my mentors. So thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Apurva, would you like to introduce yourself a bit?
Very good evening, sir. This is Apurva, and I am pursuing my BA Honours in Geography from Vasanta College for Women, which is an affiliation to Banaras Hindu University. Sir, I am aspiring to get into civil services, and yes, I'm looking forward to learn many things from this course. So yes.
Thank you. Chayan?
Good evening, sir. Myself, Chayan Pandey. I have done my BCA from Sardar Patel University, Gujarat, and I have completed my BCA this year. I live in Gazipur.
Okay. Anshuraj?
Very good evening, sir. My name is Anshaj.
Anshaj, I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry I pronounced your name wrong.
Okay. Yes, sir. I have completed my BTech in automobile engineering.
Oh, wow. And, that's my industry, man. That's where I worked. Good.
Yes, sir. And I live in Varanasi.
Okay. Baba ki Nagri.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can see Bushra.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Bushra Siddiqui. Currently, I'm pursuing my undergraduations from sociology from BHU, and my long-term goal is to settle in a good organization with my sociology. I've done a lot of internship also, and my long-term goal is to settle. To be financially independent and to settle through corporates, and my short-term goal is to enter into a good university for masters. And I'm looking forward to learn everything or something new from this course.
Thank you, Bushra. I hope I can satisfy your, aspirations. Pratishtha.
Good evening, sir. So
Good
myself,
evening.
Pratika, and currently I am a BA first year student pursuing history honors from Mahila Mahavidyalaya, BHU, and I am also certified professional. I have completed 3-month professional and life skill course at Young Skill India, and now I am looking forward to this management course.
Good. So did you enjoy that life skill course?
Yes, sir. I have learned so much thing from that 3-month course.
Good. Very good. I'm so happy. Now, who can I see?
Thank you,
Anjali?
sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir, and everyone. My name is Anjali Singh. I'm pursuing my BA in Economics Honors from Banaras Hindu University, and I am an economist enthusiast. My long-term goal is to become an economist. I chose myself that goal because I am very much interested in nation building. That's why I pursued this course because I see myself learning very new things from this course, like management and especially in finance. So, thank you, sir.
Okay. Tripti.
Good evening, sir. My name is Tripti Dubey and I am pursuing my graduation in philosophy honors, and also I am preparing for CDSC examination.
Okay. Shreya.
Good evening, sir, and hello everyone. I am Shreya Rai. I've completed my studies in psychology and I am a counselor professionally, but currently I'm pursuing my passion for arts.
Okay, good. What are you expecting from this particular course?
Sir, actually, I want to build my own business with art, craft, and related field. So that's why I'm
good. Then I hope I can contribute something to you.
Yes, and I'm also
yeah.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, I'm
No,
also doing the course in digital marketing from Young Skill India.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
Tithi. Tithi, are you there? Shrishti? You are muted, Shrishti. I can't hear you.
Sorry, sir. Sorry. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm Shrishti Yadav. Currently, I'm pursuing BA Economics Honors from Vasanta College for Women. My long-term goal for my career is to become an actor.
Become an actor?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So अभी autograph दे दो हम सबको यार, फिर आप famous हो जाओगे तो कौन ये करेगा? Okay, so that's the long and short. We know each other. Now, some of the rules of the game before I begin. One, just like all of you youngsters need encouragement, faculty like us, old people also need encouragement. Don't they say that, old age is like a second childhood? How many of you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I am an old man. 66 is supposed to be old, right? Even government gives senior citizen allowances. So the only way you can encourage me is making sure that you give your 100% to whatever I'm trying to tell you. So that's the first rule. The second rule is, how does one study? That's not only for marketing, but that's for everything that you are doing, whatever, if you are doing any courses. So one of the ways to study is there is something known as reading. We read on the net, we read on the in the books, and we read newspapers and so many other things. I have found that successful people never read more than half an hour at a stretch, but they read proactively. Now, let me explain what does that mean. It simply means that you read for half an hour with full concentration and then stop it. Maybe if you like a cup of coffee or whatever, or just sit around, but then spend the next half an hour challenging what you've read. which means just asking 4 questions. First one, why? Second one, why not? Third one, what if? And fourth one, what if not? Now, these 4 questions will almost certainly bring out some new curiosities. Okay. Now, these new curiosities are the learning points, which we can always kind of learn from it. And what it does, it helps you internalize the knowledge. We just have somebody who's this Tithi, is it, from a psychologist? So she would tell you what it means to internalize things. So whatever I'm going to talk about today is a very overview kind of a thing of what marketing can be. Like Mr. Neeraj just said, that marketing is a way of life. The moment we were born, we announced ourselves, didn't we? All of us came out wailing as loud as possible, announcing our arrival. Do we agree with that? Please interact. Didn't we do that? All of
Yes,
us,
sir.
all of us did
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And therefore, marketing, that is the first thing, marketing is so basic that it starts with the point, the moment you are born. And it also ends when our lives end. Because whenever there is whatever Shok Sabha, whatever, we have to talk about the person, right? So that's, I mean, as we go down this journey of marketing, we will learn how marketing is just living. It's as simple as that. As long as you're going to live, in a particular fashion, you will do it. You are marketing all the time. So probably in the entire management bouquet, I personally feel that marketing is the easiest subject to do. But having said that, it is also a subject that, I mean, when you put it in practice, it'll draw a lot of sweat. Okay, because marketing cannot be done, in an air-conditioned cabin. Marketing has to be done right out in the open, in sweltering heats of May, or in freezing, cold weather of December. You have to get out. So marketing is a lot of hard work, but marketing is, how do I put it? Like, let me put it for myself. For me, marketing is everything. So, and in our country, we talk a lot about our religion and caste and creed and everything. So let me describe myself one more time, that by religion, I'm a marketer, and by caste, I'm a salesman. Now, let me also further explain what this means. A good salesman, and all of us are, you are also constantly selling. When you want something from your parents or your spouse or anybody, you create आप क्या बोलते हैं, एक पृष्ठभूमि बनाया जाता है to sell the idea that you need a bike, or you need a particular kind of dress or something, or you need to go for a film and you don't have the money, and you need to draw it. So what are you doing at the moment? You're doing at that moment a certain amount of marketing, and then finally the act of selling. Okay, the beauty is how you're going to do it and get it smoothly. So a good salesman is one who, no matter what the strain, what the stress, whatever his pains, he should be able to get up and say, how can I help? And a good marketing person is one who, again, under the same circumstances, all strains, all stresses, all everything, gets up and says, how can I spread happiness? As long as you can do this, you are an excellent marketer. Any doubts about this or any questions about what I have just said?
Sir, there was a slight request from you.
Yeah, go on.
Sir, actually, I'm having my fast, and this is like iftar time to break the fast. We call it iftar.
Yes,
So can I
know,
just?
Sure,
So
do.
can I?
Only on one condition, Bushra.
Yes, sir.
That you will pray for all of us too.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
always pray for my country during iftar time.
Yeah, no, especially for this group.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. You pray for the whole country. Yeah, please go, please go.
So my request was just, can I just switch off my camera for a while, like 15 to 20 minutes?
Sure, no problem.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so we were still coming back on question of what marketing is and what is a salesperson. Any thoughts on this? Can you add to this or can you object to this? I need that encouragement to go to the next steps.
I have a question.
Yes, go on.
Like you said that to be a good salesman, you need to have that question, how can I help you? But to be a good manager, like you need to have a question that how can I spread happiness? So I cannot understand where happiness came between this marketing stuff, like.
Okay, good question. Anybody else who has the same doubt? In a different fashion or anything like that? A very good question.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt, sir. I will request Shayan, Tithi, Karan, Srishti, please open your camera, guys. It's quite, embarrassing sometimes to it seems like that suppose some guest is visiting your house and you are going and hiding behind the room. So please open your camera, interact and talk at least, and interact and ask the relevant questions, so that it will be nice for both for everybody. Everybody can learn from you and you can also learn from. Karan and Tithi, are you there? Okay. Yeah, please, sir, continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. So, who was that who had asked me that question? Anya? Arya. Arya, please excuse me and the whole class. Have you seen this latest film of Akshay Kumar where he keeps forgetting the names? He's a police officer, he keeps forgetting the names. Some movie I saw it, a part of it, and I immediately connected it to me because I have this problem. There are times I even forget my own name. So please don't mind if I call you by some different name. Okay, I do not mean to hurt you or anything. So I will just try and answer. Life itself, I'm trying to be a little philosophical. Life itself is, full of a lot of stress, but basically each one of us aspires to be happy. We gravitate, there is a, that of course is advanced and that probably cannot be covered in the 6 months. There is a new branch of marketing that is coming in, which is called neuromarketing. Now, I'll touch upon it a little before we get into my slide presentation. See, the brain in its crudest form, first really, because before that, there was only a nervous system. Many of you, I'm sure, have done biology. But the brain, as we know it, first developed in the reptiles. And then it kind of evolved to a point where now whatever is the human brain, which is much more complex. Now, what is this reptilian brain? This is what is the foundation of neuromarketing. The reptilian brain is pleasure seeking. So anything that makes it stressful, it hurts him. The reptile, which is a chipkili or a girgit or whatever you like to call them, or an alligator, he moves away from there. And whatever gives him pleasure, irrespective of what could be the consequence, he goes there. Some people also try to say that that's some kind of subconscious behavior or involuntary behavior, but that's the reptilian mind. And all of us at the core of our brain have this reptilian mind, which is pleasure seeking. So Arya, now do you understand that if as a marketer, we can get into that brain, which is actually the core, then what are our chances of success? Arya, you there? Okay, this is the problem with online. Okay, but do you understand what I'm trying to say? So,
Yes,
so marketing is about empathy. The moment you can develop an empathy with the customer, you are already marketing. Okay. Now, what is empathy? Again, let's go back to our physics classes in the 10th. We all did, sound, and we had these resonating forks. We saw resonating forks where we hit one fork and the other one also started vibrating along with it with the same frequency. Now, this is exactly what marketing is supposed to do. Marketing is supposed to create a resonance between the company or between the seller and the buyer. As a marketing person, you don't manufacture anything. As a marketing person, you can't develop. You need not be an engineer. You need not be a technical person to become a marketing person. But what is the most important thing that a marketer has is the ability to communicate. Okay, that is our AK-47, our atom bomb, whatever you like to call it. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Ladies, please pardon me. Just to bring home the point, I'll put this a little crudely. See, we all have mothers. Some people call her Ma, some people call her Amma. Here in Maharashtra, they call her Ai. In Gujarat, they call her Ba. Okay. And you can call her your father's spouse. We can call her, it's grammatically correct and polite. Which is the route that we take? All of you, one by one, tell me, how would you like to address your mother? Ma, Ai, Abba, Amma, Ammi, or whatever. Or would you like to call her your father's spouse? Tell me, somebody has to, somebody
Ma.
please keeps Ma. That's right. Does anybody have any other view? So that is marketing. Marketing is putting things in a manner that will make things pleasant for others. Right. Now, let's say when we aspire, when we were kids, and even now we are grown up, when we win a prize, when we get a victory, what do we want to do? We want to go back and share it with all those who we love. First of all, with our parents. So if we do that, aren't we marketing? Aren't we spreading happiness? Our target to win that recognition is not only for ourselves, it is for everybody. Everybody who cares for us, everybody we care for. So does that answer Anya's, the lady's name is Anya?
Yes, Arya.
Yeah. Arya. Yeah. So does that answer? I mean, I'm sure you must have won several medals, etc., etc. So why did you go to win? It was to give yourself, of course, happiness, which is the reptilian part of the thing. But more importantly, it was to make sure that your loved ones feel happy about it.
Yes.
Does this answer your question or?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. So that is what marketing is about. I mean, see, I don't want to oversell marketing, but it's a fact. every other department in business can look at the past and look at the present. Marketing is the only department which will have to look at in the future. Number one, remember. So if you are a success today, by tomorrow in marketing, it's ancient history. You don't have time to come back and say, I did that. You have to climb fresh heights. If you go to finance, well, that's historical. आप पैसा लाएंगे, marketing वाले पैसा नहीं लाते तो मैं क्या करूं? So they look at history, कि this didn't come, that didn't happen. HR is in the now, what is the trend and all that, and that's it. But marketing is always forward looking. Marketing is always about happiness, and that's why in every organization, they are known to be glamour boys. Okay. Now, why they are known to be glamour boys? Because we need to make them happy, our customers happy, and therefore we are, partying, we are doing all that. Very few people in organization realize that when you all, the rest of the company people go for a party, they go and enjoy themselves. Whereas the marketing man, while enjoying, is also looking at how can he spread happiness through his products all the time. We will, as we progress in this course, learn some of those things. So even our party time is work time. And I will give you some examples where I picked up some things from my home background, and I applied it generally for a successful delivery of certain things. So do you, is that clear? So any other question? Chain, I was expecting, आप तो मेरे से जरूर बोलेंगे यार. अच्छा, Shreya is asking something. No? All right. So shall we get into, a little bit of thoda theory ho jaye?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So is this visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is what I'll just reduce the thing. Okay, now we are going to, what I'm going to do over today and tomorrow is give you a kind of an overview of what is marketing and what are the possibilities within marketing for you to decide how you want to pursue your, onward journey for this management certificate course. So there is a famous management guru known as Peter Drucker. This quote that I say is his: business has only two functions, marketing and innovation. And incidentally, they are both interlinked. No innovation can happen without marketing. Now, let me tell you how. Any of you can any of you tell me how is a new product introduced in the market? I mean, how do you come to know that this product will run or will work or will be accepted by the the market or the customer?
Through marketing, sir.
So who does that? Is it the R&D? Is it the factory? Is it the finance? Who does it?
Marketer who works for the company.
Any new product in the world is born out of discovery of a need, right? And who can discover what the customer needs? Only one department, and that's marketing, because you are customer facing. The rest of them are either inward facing or facing each other. So therefore, if the company has to be innovative, if they have to come out with new products, then the real R&D really begins with marketing. So this is what it is. And marketing management itself has, as you can see from this diagram, okay, has so many things to do. So I will go further. So what is marketing? Marketing is an organizational function and a set of processes for creating, communicating, and delivering value to the customer. Just remember this word value. And for managing customer relationship in a way that benefits the organization and its stakeholder. Let me explain to you what is a stakeholder. Are you familiar with what is a stakeholder? Anyone?
Yes, sir. A
Yeah.
partial owner of the company, maybe in few percentage of the company is owned by someone, is known as stakeholder.
No, Anjali, a good attempt, but that's not exactly right. What you have described is a shareholder. Okay.
Sir, it is a party that has an interest in a company and can either be affected by the business.
Yes. So anybody who can be affected by the business is, he has a stake in this company, is a stake in the business of that company. So he is called a stakeholder. Now, a stakeholder can be employees, a stakeholder can be, those pressure groups, those NGOs who can, a stakeholder can be general public, stakeholder can be your dealer distributor. Everybody has an interest, can be affected, favorably or unfavorably. So that is the first thing, that a marketing person is conscious of the entire stakeholder. I mean, that's how it has evolved. So we'll talk about it later. So one of the other quotes is meeting the needs profitably. Okay, this is the other definition, that marketing is about meeting the needs profitably. Okay, so and now let us first understand, what do you mean by profit? Somebody is doing economics here. Can you explain what's profit, or what should be a considered profit in marketing terms? Can somebody tell me who's doing economics here?
It's me.
Yeah, so okay, Anjali, then you tell me what is profit.
When the return is more than the investment.
Okay, yeah, that's a classical economic or finance wale ka definition. What is the definition according to you? Take a guess. Unless you take a guess, how would you learn?
Sir, in a classic manner, this what profit can be described as the revenue generated. The revenue generated from the business activity exceeds the expenses. In marketing term, I guess the profit can be termed as like the money we have invested in making a product, their advertisement and everything in all. If that product exceeds the that price, we can say it's a profit in marketing.
No. So you are not very different from what Anjali said. You explained it in a longer, so many more words. Anybody else? Who should I ask? Tripti?
Sir, when we get extra amount which we, sir, same as.
All right, no, but you are on the right track.
Sir, it is a difference between the amount earned and amount spent in buying or purchasing some products.
Okay, so that is a accountant's way or a finance way of describing. Okay, I'll not waste too much time on that, or I'll not spend too much time. Can I proceed? I'll tell you what profit means in the marketing terms. Okay, all of you, do you go to a restaurant off and on? Banaras mein to bahut अच्छे अच्छे यार, वहाँ की लस्सी मेरे को बहुत पसंद है. So you go to a restaurant, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Chen, do you go to a restaurant?
Yes, sir.
So when you go to a restaurant and if the waiter has served you nicely, what do you do? When he brings the bill?
Tip.
Yes. So for marketing person, that profit is the tip that the customer is willing to pay you for the happiness that you have given. Remember this, note this always. So I'll give you an example. Now, आप लोग तो mobile generation हो. So there is a Samsung mobile, there is a Oppo, there is a Vivo, there is an iPhone. Okay, हम सारे जानते हैं कि the parts are made in Taiwan, Korea or China. They are all assembled by automated machines. Okay, so why should one mobile cost 1.5 lakh with the same kind of thing somewhere else costing 40,000, 20,000? I'm talking only high-end phones. Don't we go and buy iPhone or a OnePlus and we are happy? And there are people who are buying 6,000-8,000 rupees phone and they are happy. So why that difference for the same product, which is supposed to deliver the same service? Right. Another example, we all have seen a car called Maruti Swift, right? We, at least in movies, etc., and I'm sure in Banaras, you must have seen, there's a car called Mini Cooper, which is made by BMW. Size and facilities are exactly the same. If you drive them, since I am from the automobile world, so I know, of course, a marketing person. Now, a Swift you can buy, a high-end Swift you can buy for about 7 lakhs. Okay. Try and make a guess for a Mini Cooper. What would be the price? There's somebody who did automobile engineering. He should be able to tell me. Well, I'll tell you, on road in Maharashtra, it's 35 lakh rupees. And the guy who owns a Mini Cooper, a BMW Mini Cooper, वो पूरे market में चौड़ा होके चलता है. He's so happy for the same product. So that means there is an element, sub technologically same, sab kuch same. So there is an element of happiness that you are able to deliver, which the customer is willing to pay, and that is the profit. And that is what is the magic of marketing. If you can get up even in the most stressful times and say that how can I spread happiness, you will find the right answers. Chad, do you agree with my definition of profit, or anybody disagrees with my definition of profit? You have yourself, I mean, you all go and buy branded clothes against the normal darzi se sila ke, you know. Why do you buy those branded clothes at probably twice the price? Because it gives you a certain amount of happiness that you can show off to the world if necessary. Right? Do you all agree with me?
Yes, sir.
We have one.
Yes, sir.
We have one psychologist here. So, you know, I'm glad. I mean, it's a great class. I can take help from all of you. So the person who does psychology, can she explain?
Happiness?
Yes. Happiness meaning, how does this translate into that tip or that profit?
Sir, I could not understand the question.
I'm saying I gave you two examples. One example was that of Suzuki Swift and Mini Cooper. The other example is that normal darzi se sila hua cloth, I mean shirt or whatever, for ladies, whatever, and a branded one. Branded one probably is at twice the cost. So we do talk about quality and all that. But is that the reason why you go for branded clothes?
Sir, it's more about desirability, because society will appreciate that.
Exactly. So that is why you're willing to pay the tip, right? that because you are happy, you can stand up in the society.
Proudly, yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is what is marketing all about. Does anybody in the class not agree with me? Okay, Shreya, thank you very much for that one. So we'll go to the next. So what
Sir,
is yeah? Go on, go
sir,
on.
as you said that the marketing profit, as you explained that with this BMW example and Maruti Suzuki example. So can we say that this marketing profit is based on the brand's name also? Like BMW have another level of name in the market, and Maruti Suzuki is a good company, but if we compare BMW and Maruti Suzuki stands nowhere. So can we say that this marketing profit depends on the brand's name too?
So branding is a strategy of marketing and creation of what you are saying, Bushra, is right. And as we progress in this course, I guess we will be touching upon that. Branding is only one aspect, but probably the most aspect. I mean, all our marketing efforts, whether it be for a small chai ki dukan or it be a 5-star restaurant, it is all about a particular strategy, and then it gets. Don't we have? I mean, in your cities, there would be a famous, Golgappe wala, or what do you call it there, puchka wala, whatever, pani puri wala, whatever. He's got branded over time. Okay, and people go and queue up there to eat. Versus you may also have a 5-star restaurant where people go with a different this thing. So all that we will study. Okay, so look at this diagram. It's the total thing that marketing goes about. So marketing then is the art and science of choosing target markets. I'll come to this target markets, acquiring, keeping, and growing customers through creating, delivering, and communicating superior value. Now, this is the second time we are talking about value. So what do you all understand by value?
So what our society, our culture puts into us, what is right, what is wrong.
Yeah, so that is one very correct definition of value, the very correct definition.
Product value means how efficient a product works or how efficient a service is.
No, I'll tell you. Let's say you have, where do you live, Shreya? In Banaras?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have to go from Varanasi to Mughal Sarai. Okay, you have no other option but to walk it. Okay, so walking becomes the most valuable thing for you because you must reach Mughal Sarai. Then you get a cycle. Now between walking and cycle, which is more valuable?
Cycle.
Which is because you can reach faster and with lesser strain. Okay, then you get a motorcycle. That becomes more valuable. And then you get a motor car. So you can cover yourself, you can probably put on an AC, etc., etc. It's getting a little dark. Can I just get up and switch on the light?
Sure, sir. Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
just give me 2 minutes. I hope this is a little better. I'm a little more seeable. Or let me shift the computer a little this side. Can you guys see me?
So it's more, yes, sir. It's a bit better.
Yeah. Okay, let me move it a little more. This is where my house is a little. Okay. Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is what it is. Now I'm just trying to. What happened, man? Huh. So you understand. So marketing is about delivering value. You know, don't we? I mean, how another way of explaining this value thing is, when there is an occasion, don't we say, सबसे महंगा कपड़ा खरीदा, सबसे महंगी गाड़ी लेके आया. So that is a expression where we link price to quality, and then quality. What is the definition of quality? Quality is relevant to each one of us in our, sphere, what we think, what is our perception. You understand perception? Otherwise, I'll have to take help from Srishti. Or rather, who's the name? Shreya or Srishti?
So Shreya.
Shreya. So she will again help me. What is a perception? I'm happy you are in my class. See, each one of us have an image of ourselves. Each one of us, I mean, all of you, as you grow up, if some of you are married, fine. But when you grow up, there is a particular kind of image that you have for your life partner. And that is like a perception. It's perceived, it's not real. You construct a imaginary person who would be your ideal life partner. And then when you look around, when meet the boy or meet that family, you try to measure it against that perception. पहले भी होता था ना, वो 36 गुण मिलने चाहिए, वो पता नहीं क्या क्या. Okay, so it is something like that. So you value only those things that measure up to your perception of that particular service or goods that you want. So that is value. That has got nothing to do with price. And the other moral values that you are talking about is again an important aspect in marketing to know and understand. A sociologist, so we'll get some help from her too. All right, so is that clear what value is? Now, marketing, as you can see, this entire definition I have given is about making your customer happy. Okay, it is about spreading happiness. Now, when I'm saying customer here, I'm also meaning the entire stakeholder. Okay, all the stakeholders are pleased, then your product will automatically sell. Now, coming to what Bushra had just said, that brand. Now, over time, or whichever way it got communicated, that BMW is a class apart or a class above Suzuki, is the marketing genius. Is the marketing genius. Anybody, I mean, it's not as if that Suzuki can't do it, but they have not been able to communicate the value for which the customer is willing to pay that tip. Okay, so that is what marketing essentially is. Now, how did the marketing evolve? In the, hello? Am I audible, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So marketing, in the 18th century, or rather 18th century, we all know that the industrial revolution came. Okay, that is what is known as Industry 1.0. But before that, also human beings lived and they had needs and wants. So they would then at that time I would grow my own vegetables, I would do my own cooking, I would stitch my own clothes, I would do everything myself. Then we realized that somebody was good at cooking Somebody was good at making clothes, somebody was good at something else, and there the division of labor came through. Then it was realized that if I'm so good, then why don't I make for everybody else? And I decide the product I can do best and make it for everybody and people can buy. So then came a concept of people specializing and looking at making products and selling them, bartering them, whatever. Then came in the Industrial Revolution, and they said that, okay, if people need this, we will do it on a mass scale. So the steam engine, which is what was the main driver, main force behind Industry 1.0, made it possible for large factories to come. So all those people who were weavers, who were tailors, suddenly started losing their jobs because these large factories were able to make same quality, if not better, because the machine can do that in very high quantities, very large quantities, and therefore they could bring down the price quite drastically. So that was the time when production was the king. How much people could produce, and we still have words like productivity. Then the next step came when people realized that, okay, producing is not enough. We will need to make sure that that works for the customer, and that is what was the service concept. Okay, so you would find people, and these things are still happening, where let's say you give your car for servicing, and then when it's done, they try and ask you everything is all right or not. Or when you go to a restaurant, you might find a chef or maybe the captain there come to say, are you liking the food? Is there something I can do? So then it came that to sell your product faster, better, and higher than others at a higher price, you need to get closer to customers. So the service concept came. Then came the concept of selling, where now we still teach salesmen those techniques. There again, it was a question of target oriented, that a salesman was hired and he was told that, look, you need to sell 100 of this. Then came a product concept where the salesman was saying that, okay, let's say Colgate, you will get in 500 grams, 250 grams, 100-gram packets, go sell so much. And then came the marketing concept, which is what we have discussed, where we studied how we could resonate with the customer. And now we are getting into what is known as, this is the Industry 4.0, where we're getting into what is known as holistic marketing or responsible marketing, which means we are not only going to serve the customer, but we want to serve the community at large while serving. So there is internal marketing, which takes care of the entire organization. There is another saying that marketing is too important a function to be left only in the hands of marketing department, which means marketing, as a successful marketing manager, you have to do internal selling for the entire organization to feel proud, which is again boils down to branding. Bushra, again answering you, between, let's say, a local company and a company which has a brand name offering you a job, which one will you go for?
Of course, with the brand name, company with a brand name.
Yeah. Even if they are offering you maybe $1,000 or $2,000 less, you would still like to work for a company with a brand, because there is a certain amount of trust that the brand creates. We will be talking about that. So that is internal marketing. Integrated marketing is all kinds of communications are rolled into one, so that there is a particular uniform message. If somebody were to talk to you from different angles, what happens to the mind? Shreya, it gets confused, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, between the two, then there is a question of trying to develop a relationship with a customer. okay, or with a stakeholder. So there is something known as relationship marketing. And in banks, you will see relationship managers. These are all marketing people who are supposed to develop a particular kind of resonance with a select set of customers. And then finally, it is performance marketing, which is now the latest data-driven marketing, from where you are able to measure. Anything that you can't measure is only a, what should I say, a wish list, a dream, or something like that. Okay, whatever actions you want to take must be measurable. So that's what performance marketing is. We will deal with all this later. I'm just giving you some overviews. So what is modern day marketing now? Every employee is a marketer. Every employee in the organization is a marketer. Nobody can disown the responsibility of marketing. Now, what does that mean? Let's say I'm working in a factory which makes those Banarsi saris, right? I'm only weaving them or whatever, you know, I'm an operator there. If I am not proud of it, then why do we all like our mother's cooking as compared to any other cooking? And we know that all mothers cook differently, because there is a lot of love that goes into it. The taste becomes better because of that. So to that extent, that particular weaver is responsible. I'll give you an example of what I experienced in real life. I was working as the regional manager West for a battery company, an automotive battery company called Standard Batteries. You will still be seeing their logo, SF, with red and blue stripes. So we decided, that we should go for one new product. So marketing went and talked to, I was leading that charge because it was an idea that I had put forward. So I went to R&D to say that, look, from the market, I have picked up this information. Can you do these things in the battery? Out of maybe 15 things I said, they said they can do 12. All right. Now I went back with that 12 and talked to the customer again. Then I went to the production manager to say, okay, now how would I be able to get this in this much quantity, which as a marketing person I had surveyed and come back. So he said, this is what it will need. This is the balancing equipment. So I went to materials. Okay, how much to get this, how much time will you take and what price, etc., etc. Then I went to finance, whether we can fund this or not. Basis that, I was able to present to my boss, who was the head of marketing, and then together we presented it to the MD and the board of directors, and then it got approved. Okay, after it got approved and we started manufacturing, now we started saying, okay, this is a special product. So we will pick up people from every department. We will select them. So it became a matter of prestige to be a part of that signature series. That's what we were calling it. And these were, mind you, colored batteries. There was nothing great excepting the color. So we were saying, okay, you will have to be dressed like this. You have to, and mind you, the entire team, in fact, even the non-signature series employees started emulating it because they saw instant success. And then wherever they went out, wherever they talked about a signature battery. Standard Battery has a signature battery, which is just like Bushra says, Suzuki is nowhere compared to. So we were able to establish that as a brand because of all the employees participated in it. And that was as a result of internal communication that we kept on communicating. This is happening, that's happening, so because the people in the factory don't know what really happens in marketing, don't know the success stories. For them, it's making one battery, assembling one battery to the other. But when we were able to communicate that whatever you made is finding recognition in the market and the customer is willing to pay that tip, I will not use the profit, then the meaning of the whole thing changes. Therefore, the entire marketing is an effort of the entire organization. Then there is a concept of experience. Now, again, Shreya will tell me, or all of you will tell me, I'm sure of that. None of us really go and buy a product. I'm making a statement. None of us. We only go and buy experiences. If we buy a good thing, we get a good experience, then we will repeat. If we are going to buy it for the first time, chances are that we will go and ask a friend or whoever we trust. And if his experience is good, we will buy. Okay. So as a marketer, we must understand that nobody buys a product. You can build in all the quality. It is the totality of the experience that the customer buys, and that is the value. That is the value that you sell to the customers. Is that clear to you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now your generation is becoming, and it's also becoming urgent for people in my generation, but sustainability, environment, Namavi Gange, all these, everybody is becoming conscious. You're becoming health conscious much more than my time. I mean, in my time, when I was your age, there were no dirty pictures on cigarette packets. We smoked wherever we felt like. Today, we can't do that. So your generation is becoming more and more conscious of the environmental or the sustainability concerns. So what is happening is that the customer is changing. And anything that contributes to sustainability, they would like to buy that. That creates a very favorable resonance with the customer. So that is the idea of green marketing. It's also called sustainability marketing. Okay. So if we can encourage sustainability, then you are the ultimate in marketing. And going forward, this thing is going to grow. You all know that United Nations have set, this is all the nations put together, have set 17 sustainability development goals. And each country has to achieve all those by 2030. So not only as a customer, going to be a pressure on the marketer, on the companies to achieve those goals. India also happens to be one of the signatories. See, again, I think I'll have to switch off the, just hold on. My connection, I don't know why it's becoming, this is the challenge that I have here. So I'll switch off the video for sometimes, guys, please don't mind it.
Sure, sure.
So what is the nature of marketing? Obviously, you know that it's a legal process. There is a bill you raise, there is a contract you make, all that happens. And then you get the money, etc., etc. So it's a legal process. It's a managerial function where activities are directed to reaching the customer. We will study this. It's basically a philosophy to satisfy the needs and wants of a customer. And then, of course, it has a dual objective of doing it at a profit as we initially defined. Okay, so that is the nature of marketing. What is the scope? The scope of marketing is through services. There are these 10 types of entities. There is something known as services marketing. There is something known as events marketing. There is something known as, so can somebody give me an example of services marketing, or what is a service and what is a good? At this stage also, we'll come later to discuss that, but can somebody tell me the difference between a service and a goods? I think there is somebody in the group who's doing economics. She should be able to say. Yeah,
Yes,
tell me, Anjali.
Goods are the physical commodity which we could use, and whether as service or something which is done by a people to satisfy our needs.
Correct. Okay, and events we all know. Okay, what is experience marketing? Can you talk about some experience marketing that can be done? How many of you have bought a bike or a car or maybe a mobile phone? All of you? Okay. So what does happen when don't they invite you and say, okay, please try before you buy? So what they are trying to do is let you experience the joy of having it. Then there is persons marketing. Okay. Can you give me some examples of persons who have marketed themselves very well in India?
A person who is marketed well can be Amitabh Bachchan because he's so famous before.
I'll clap for you. Well done. Amitabh Bachchan is a brand, and we will discuss it later on in this course. That's a very, very typical case study worth seeing. But why are you forgetting Mr. Modi?
Yes, sir. The second name came to my mind.
We have now for the first time, the Indian voter, we have got a terminology called Bhakt. That is ultimate marketing, and there is no doubt that, and he's from your, he's the MP from your constituency. There's no doubt about the fact that that has been done, probably one of the best in the world. Okay. Places, again, you come from a town, if we were to take Varanasi, how you need to market it to tourists, the way which again, when Varanasi has to be marketed to the tourist, it can't just be hotels and guides and travel agents. It has to be the citizenry of that place who has to be involved in the marketing. The moment the citizenry leaves it alone, the tourism value of that place goes down. Okay. Properties, we all know how they are marketed. Organizations, we are seeing it. Information can be marketed. Let us look at organizations like Twitter, Facebook, etc., who would not only sell data, after of course taking permission. Okay, ideas are marketed. Okay, let's take Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is nothing but an idea that's being marketed and that's being bought by people in many, many places. And physical goods, so we have seen. So this is the scope. Practically, as you can see, every aspect of our life is marketable. We ourselves are marketable. Okay. What I mean to say by that is, if you are not marketing yourself in your life, you will, this does not mean unethical thing. Marketing yourself by using your strengths is an important aspect in today's life, or even, even in ancient history. This is an important thing. So everything in our life. And that is why we need to learn good manners. That's why we need to learn socially acceptable things. I'll give you an example now. If you like a boy or a girl, then look at your own personal behavior. Does it get modified to become likable to that person? If it does, then you are marketing. If it doesn't, then you don't like the person enough. So either which way, you need to market. Now, who markets? Marketers and the prospect. Marketers is, let's say we are the marketers. We are trying to, attract people to what we want to sell and all those scope that I have given you, and how we want to approach them. Okay. Prospects are the customers who will buy our product. Buying does not always mean by paying price. You may buy my idea, whatever I'm telling you just now. If you agree with it, you are buying it. If you don't agree with it, then you are not buying it. Okay. Buying is not always money related or price related. So these are the, now understand, there are three aspects in life. There is a need, which means if I don't have it, life is going to be hell, or life is going to be, might extinguish. So that's a need. Then as human beings rise above that need, there is, we will again do it later on. Okay. After meeting the basic needs, which is called the hygiene needs, then we start desiring a few things, which are the wants. Okay, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. All of you said that I admit, I aspire to join this company. I'm preparing for this. So those are the wants. Now, given those wants and the needs, people go for certain things, and that is what is known as demand. Okay. So when you say there is a demand for so many products, means those are the number of customers who want that quantity, or who need those quantity to make their life easier. So there can be 8 states. One is a negative demand. There is no demand for something. Okay. What happens when, let's say, do you all remember those cameras where we had the rolls?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You also remember that railway station वगैरह में मिलता था, those small 80-100 rupees का FM radios. We could hear it with the headphone.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You also remember that if you went to an office, or maybe you all will not remember, but when we went to an office, there used to be a telephone operator. She was providing that, connecting you to the bosses. All these have disappeared. There has become a negative demand. We don't need it. Why? The first two has been taken over and are into your mobile phone. And the second one, the technology has advanced where we don't need it anymore. So that is a negative demand. Non-existent demand is, if you don't study and you make something, no matter how good it is, if the customer doesn't require it, then there is no demand. I mean, you can't sell it. Okay. Latent demand. This is an important thing for marketers. Can I come back to this a little later? Remind me if I don't. Declining demand is every product. Again, as I told you, that our, desire for more and more is a human behavior, is always there. Therefore, you will see in all the high-tech products, laptops, mobile phones, cars, any of these products, every 8-10 months, 1 year, a new version comes out. And that again is a marketing job to study which version should it be. Irregular demands are those seasonal demands that, because then the factory has to produce. Now, let's say cement. Okay, cement cannot be produced during the rainy season because if the water touches, or the demand goes down because nobody wants to store it, etc., etc. Full demand is when you have what do you say, a right round the year full requirement for it. Over full demand is when there is a glut. So you need 100 pieces and 200 pieces are coming into the market. Unwholesome demand, I would take the help of Shreya. What is unwholesome in psychology or sociology? Somebody from sociology.
So unwholesome will be something that is not complete, that is not fulfilling all the purposes, aspects.
Okay, the person who, the lady who is doing sociology.
Yes, sir. Sir, unwholesome can be said like not characterized by or conducive to health or moral well-being.
Yes. So let's take an example of there is a demand for all of us. We need money, we can get. So there is a demand, but there are two ways of earning it or getting it. One is by hard work and honest work, and the other one is Dawood Ibrahim way. So Dawood Ibrahim's demand for money can be classified as unwholesome. Okay, so these are the so when the marketer does. Now let me come back to this latent demand. This is the key. This is the core of a marketing genius. When he can pick up a latent demand. Latent आप लोग समझते हैं ना? Do you understand the meaning of latent?
Yes, sir.
Aprathyaksh, something that you can't see. Okay, am I clear? Please, this is very important. Please, I want everybody to say yes or raise their hands.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So ये जो इसकी discovery होती है, that is what makes all the difference. And how this is picked up, वो हम लोग survey, questionnaire ये सब से करते हैं. This is picked up by marketing people when they go and talk to people and discover things. I'll just quote one example of mine. So have you all heard of a electric car called Reva? Okay, this was, now it is part of the Mahindra group, but at that time it was a company by itself, and at that time it was the largest producer of electric cars in the world, which was only 600 cars in a year. So 600 gadi means in a country like India is like oot ke muh mein jeera. So I joined that as the head of marketing, and I discovered that we were selling one car in Banaras, one car in Pune, another car in Bombay, and we were spreading it. So one of the first thing I did as a marketing strategy कि अगर ये दिखेगी नहीं volume में तो लोग खरीदेंगे नहीं इसको. So we always had a sales problem. So I first said, we don't want to sell anywhere, only Bangalore. अब बैंगलोर में कोई खरीद के कहीं और ले जाए तो उसका तो हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते थे, but we'll only sell. तब भी उतना फायदा, थोड़ा फायदा हुआ, but उतना हुआ नहीं. So I started looking at what can I do to make this. कहते हैं ना कि समुंदर में अगर हम छोटे से मेढक हैं तो हमको फिर कुएं में चले जाना चाहिए, तो अपना घर बड़ा हो जाता है. So I then realized कि what can I do to make this a smaller thing and वहां पे हम बड़े दिखें. So I started looking at the data, at the information of all the past sales that we have made. And I discovered that about 95% of cars, Reva cars that were bought, were either bought directly by women or were bought for women, probably as a second car. So that gave me an idea that, okay, then why don't I reduce the market to only selling to women? Selling to women, I went to the board to say, I want to make Reva India's first woman's car. Oh, I was almost kicked out, but then I explained my reason. But I said, see, this is a thought which needs to be worked. So I took a permission and I started analyzing the data further. So it was such a small car, and I thought two-wheeler, the girls, college-going girls or young working women might be liking it. But to my surprise, out of that 95%, 80% of the cars were used by women in the age group of 30 to almost 38. 80% of them. So then I mean, it was a shocker to me. So I went back and I met some of these women. What do you do with this car? How do you use this car? So they said, look, I mean, for us, we don't need to travel, go and pick up kids, go to, markets to buy sabzi or whatever, and go to our parties once in a while, etc., that kitty parties, etc. So these were for rich. So I realized that Reva could only sell in the rich, and it could sell for these kind of women. Then I went and met some working women. They said that, look, my office job to this, it's much cheaper as against petrol. I have no issues, so I use it, but that's it. So I realized that it was not, Reva was not a glamorous car. It was a car that was more of a utility car for women. So I came back and presented my findings to the board, and they were convinced that, okay, yes, we should go in for this. So I said, okay, then if we want to go it, so what's so special? A car is a car is a car. So what's so special that this should be called a woman's car? Again, this is like creating happiness. So I went and asked these women, met them at pubs, met them at parties, sponsored some of their kitty parties to meet them and just talk to them, just talking. And every time I said that you have this car, may not be a Reva. What do you wish this car should have? Okay, so I got a list of 18 or 19 things that these ladies wished. One of them was, see, the Indian dress does not permit, it's like that, it doesn't have a collar or whatever. So the seat belt hurts them on the neck. I'll try and... So seat belt hurts them on the neck. Okay, so you will see that many ladies always pull the seat belt because it's a legal requirement, so they have to. They pull the seat belt. So that was one thing. Then most Indian dresses, and even for that matter, Western dresses, do not have enough pockets. So one of the things that these ladies had a problem with was a house key. They would either misplace it or it would get, and in their bag, their purse or whatever you call it, it was too much to keep that key. Like that, there was, then if they went to parties, they went to functions, the high heel would hurt their, their upper leg because of clutch and brake and all that. So like this, we discovered 18. I went back to R&D that can we modify Reva with this without getting into any regulatory issues. R&D in a day's time said that out of this 18, 10 can be done immediately without any problem. So obviously I went to materials, can you procure this and what will happen? How much would it cost? So that those 10 items would have costed us only 1,000 rupees. Guess, I went back to the market that, okay, if your car had all this factory fitted, how much would you pay for this? You'll be surprised. The range was 7,000 to 10,000 rupees. That was the tip. Okay, so it was discovery of that. I mean, all of you are in the car, but you have the wish, but you don't think it is technically possible. Now, more often than not, the customer does not know his entire need. That is what is latent. That is what is aprathyaksh. And the discovery of that is what makes marketing such a joy. Okay. Is that clear, or is there any questions on that?
That's clear.
Do you think it's an interesting thing that I'm proposing?
Yes, sir, very interesting.
What's happened? My camera is gone. How do I switch it on now? Okay, I'll try to switch it on. So this is the scope of marketing. Now, we classify markets on basis of area, rural, urban, North India, South India. Why we do that is because we are a diversified country, or we say, okay, this guy is, what's happening here? Okay, then we, on basis of time, on all these parameters, regulations. So, for instance, Bihar has a regulation against alcoholic drink. So there, a marketer, I mean, if it is not allowed, a marketer would at least legally not sell. So what would he do? He would try and park it around all the states. So Banaras may have, on the Bengal side, they may have, Jharkhand side, they may have enough provision for people to come. For Gujarat has been suffering from this for a long time. Okay, then basis regulation, I just told you, basis on transaction. Now, we have all heard of high net worth people or business to business marketing. Those are high transaction marketing. It's not, we have heard about, what is this? What is that aircraft that we just got in our defense?
S-400.
Rafale.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Rafale, Rafale is a high transaction thing. Okay. There is also something known as high involvement thing. Now, for instance, when you start out on your career, you're going to buy your first house. That is a high involvement. It's probably, I mean, all of us say that it's only once in a lifetime that we buy a house. Similarly, I mean, come into a more personal thing. When you want to get married, you want to be doubly sure. Your parents want to be doubly. So that's a high involvement thing. And marketing to that kind of customer is a different ball game. It has to be done differently. Then basis of volume. So smaller products, these are called impulse products. Like if you go to a mall, you will see that wherever you are trying to, when you are trying to pay the money, you will see toffees, chocolates, etc. kept there, because on an impulse, you might pick it up. So that's an important aspect in marketing. And then, of course, nature of goods, inflammable, alcohol, whatever. So this is the selling and marketing. I mean, a lot of people have confusion that marketing is the same as selling. It's not true. Selling is a subset of marketing. So here are the differences. Marketing focuses on customers' need. Selling focuses on sellers' need. Means, how can I help? Okay, and therefore sell. Customers' need, how can I make you happy? Okay, begins with production. Marketing looks at production to cater to that happiness, whereas in selling, it begins after production. जो product बन गया वही बेचना है. Whereas marketing says कि नहीं, जो product ही ऐसा बनाओ जो अपने आप बिके. Okay. In selling, once the sale has been done, the relationship with the salesman ends. In marketing, it is not the end until the life of the product is over. Marketing is obviously a philosophy of business. Selling is a routine process. So you can read this. I will send this PPT to Mr. Neeraj. Now, what are the tasks in marketing?
So,
Developing, yes.
So we are not seeing the same screen. I think it's with everyone that we are still on 7th slide.
Now what do I do? I'll
Yes,
stop
sir.
and I'll
Try to
stop
move.
and then do it again. No, I'll stop. Are you able to see this?
Yes, sir. 13th slide.
Yes, sir.
So
Are
still
you
13th slide.
can see this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Jan, can you unmute and tell me whether you can see it?
Yes, sir.
Actually, there's some problem in your speaker.
Can you hear me now, please? And can the slide be seen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Okay. So we talked about selling and this thing. Now let's see. So the task here is to develop a marketing strategy and a plan to capture marketing insights. Just like I gave you the example of what I did with Reva, it was those insights that makes all the difference, because it's all about connecting with customer, building a strong brand. Now, what is a brand? I mean, we will discuss it in detail, but at the moment, brand is like a person who you like or dislike. Shape the market offering, obviously, deliver value, communicate value. And this is an important thing. Marketing, our weapon, our ammunition, our everything is the ability to communicate the best. Can you all hear me? I can't
Yes, sir,
hear
you're
you at
audible.
all. Somebody speak up, please.
Yes, sir.
Anshaj, please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, but you are audible, sir.
Technology also here has to develop. Can you all at least hear me? Tell me in the chat box. Okay, thank you. So this is what is the thing that marketing does, as you can see. You can't see the. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah, now I'm hearing. Actually, this thing got pulled. My bad. Like I must admit that I'm a technology dinosaur. So the factors, then how does a marketer do this? By studying the marketing environment. In what environment? It's like, let's say you all come to Pune. From the moment you land at the airport or at the station or at the bus stop, you don't start doing what you want to do. You look around of what is available where and what are the constraints. Don't we do that? So if we do that, a marketer also does that. So there are, what are the social factors? Okay. I'll give you an example. When I was in Gulf, now there is a certain color of green, certain shade of green. You can't use that as a package in Gulf because it's taken as insulting to their sentiments. So if I want to sell in Gulf, culturally, they don't accept that. Now, I'll give you another example. In India, obviously, I'm talking some controversial things, but the idea is to drive home the point. Okay, I'm not trying to create any controversy, but there is a lot of talk about hijab and But when I went to Turkey, it was different. Okay, so that religion culturally is different there from the same religion, same Quran, same this thing. Similarly, in the Indian, let's say Hinduism, there is a certain way in which people from South India, within India, approach that religion, and people from us from North, I come from Bihar, we approach the religion. I know of a lot of Brahmins who are vegetarian, and I know of a lot of them who are strictly non-vegetarian, quite religious. In fact, I will name in Bihar, there is, and they are supposed to be some very high caste Brahmins who are Maithili Brahmins, who are fish eaters. That's non-veg. Okay. If any of you are from Bengal, you would know that one of the prasads during Durga Puja is khichdi and some non-vegetarian dish. So the religion itself evolves, has changed, has according to the the natural availability, etc., etc. Now here we don't like women wearing scantily dressed, but if you go to Sweden, Finland, you'll see the women in bikinis going around. So that's the difference. Could you give me a second, please? Somebody is at the door. I'll just come back. Sorry, my wife is away. She's gone to Sydney to my daughter, and I'm alone. So sab kaam khud hi karna padta. Anyway, so and then there are political. I mean, all these are the factors you will study before you start batting in that area. It's also like cricketers. When they go, they see where the fielders are, what the rule is, and etc., etc. Now, these are the two kind of environments we have. Macro environment is an overall, so the diagram explains it all. Micro environment is one which directly affects the company. Okay, so a demographic factor will affect every company. It'll affect, let's say if I'm in the in the business of making soaps, so it'll affect me also, it'll affect some other soap maker. So I can make soap for, let's say, young people, I can make soaps for ladies, for men, I can make like that, but that will affect everybody. Similarly, if the economy is good, if GDP is growing, then it's growing for everybody. If it's coming down, it's growing for, if there is unemployment, that will affect every marketer. Competition will also be affecting everybody. Social, cultural forces, political, legal forces, and technology is affecting everybody. But when we are looking at our company itself, then a market, how that market reacts to us. So you will discover that, let's say a product is selling very well in Eastern Uttar Pradesh, but not in Western. So that's my market. And there, because of cultural differences and all other thing, whatever. Then our supplier, if our supplier is not reliable, or if he's not giving good quality, or if he's arm twisting. If he's expensive, it will affect me. It will not affect my competitors. And then the market, that is our distributors, dealers, or agents. If they are not good, if they don't have a good reputation in the market, we would automatically get hurt. So this is the micro environment. Now, these are some of the marketing techniques. That is environmental analysis, we have discussed. Customer analysis. So we discover the buyer behavior. According to that, we segment, target, and position ourselves. Now, this we will deal, this STP. Yeah, Bushra, go on. You've raised your hand.
Sir, the 12th slide is visible. I guess it's the problem with everyone, or is it an issue with me?
So
in
what
my
can you
screen also, it's 12 screen as well.
So what is it that you are seeing?
Sir, the difference between marketing and selling.
Yes, sir.
Oh my God, it's that far behind, is it? This is what you are seeing? I'll start
Yes, sir.
it again. Okay, now if I shift, can you see this?
No, sir, your cursor is not visible.
So what do? I don't know what to do. Can somebody help me? This is the first time I'm facing this.
So you'll have to just click on that slide on which you are reading. Like if you are reading the 13th slide, just click on that slide.
I don't think that's the issue.
How do we do this?
Yes, sir, it's visible now. Your cursor is visible now.
Now let's do it this way only. Instead of full. Now, environment, we just talked about it. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So environment we just talked about. Let's get to this. I will send these slides to YSL. So environment analysis is the first thing that we talked about that we do. Now, what do we do is we analyze our customer and then break them into segments. What is a segment? Okay, let's say I come to Banaras. All right. There will be, I don't know how many lakhs of people there in Banaras, right? I have a product to sell, which will sell only amongst a certain kind of people. So what I do is I segment them. We will talk about this in greater detail. I'll put them in groups because then it is easier for me to pitch my paper to my offering or my product to a certain select people with the best hope of selling to them. Now, once because then that's my target audience, that's where I want to go. Okay, those are the people for whom my product is. The rest is not important. I mean, if they can. Just like I segmented in Bangalore, I segmented all car owners or all prospective car buyers. I segmented them and said, okay, now ladies in the age group of 30 and 38 are the ones that I want to serve. And I have the best chance of selling better than my competitors. Right. Now, if I have been able to target, then I will position my product. In marketing terms, positioning means creating in a space in the mind of the customer. We will come back to this more, but this is a technique that is employed. We will talk about it later. Now, if I'm positioning, how do I position it? I draw a customer persona. You all understand what's a persona? Anyone? कभी फिल्म देखा है आपने?
Yes, sir.
Okay. फिल्म में कोई प्रोफेसर दिखता है. 3 Idiots तो देखा आप लोगों ने?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो उसमें एक प्रोफेसर दिखता है ना जो प्रिंसिपल है. अब वो क्या पहनता है, वो क्या लिखता है, वो कैसे चलता है, वो किसी प्रिंसिपल के तरह, ताकि वी कैन एक्सेप्ट हिम. ओके, तो जिसने वो ऑथरिंग की है वो उसका पर्सोना देखा होगा बहुत सारे प्रिंसिपल्स का, और उसमें जो भी इंटरेस्टिंग एलिमेंट्स है वो उस कैरेक्टर में डाला. सो अ पर्सोना इज दैट. आप प्ले देखते हैं, आप नॉवेल्स पढ़ते हैं, so you will get a persona is drawn before a story is written. कि वो बिहेव कैसे करेगा, वो कपड़े कैसे पहनेगा, वो दिखने में कैसा होगा, उसका चश्मा कैसा होगा, whatever. So what you do is you draw a persona of the target audience. Typically, let's say I can see Shreya just now. So Shreya, maybe 22-year, 30-year old, whatever, and she's a working, this is a income, this is the place they like. So हम क्या कर रहे हैं कि एक imaginary typical person का एक imaginary figure draw कर रहे हैं, just like आपने अपने spouse का जैसे मैंने example दिया था. So you draw a persona. Why that is to be done? Because then it is possible to interact with that persona. कि अच्छा अगर मैं ऐसे करूंगा तो वो how will the persona interact? How will he like, will he laugh, will he whatever, will he cry, whatever. उसके बाद customer persona के बाद हम actually वो when we come later we draw our brand persona. Brand is also like a human being. उसमें हंसने की, रोने की, नाराज होने की सब क्षमता होनी चाहिए. अगर वो दोनों की कुंडली मिल गई, वो 3600 गुण मिल गए, तो क्या होगा? ओके, देन हैविंग ड्रॉन दैट, मतलब ये टेक्निक्स हैं जो हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. और उसके बाद फिर जो बाइंग प्रोसेस स्टेप बाय स्टेप क्या लेते हैं, दैट इज अनदर टेक्निक. देन वी मेक अ मार्केटिंग प्लान वेयर देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज अ मार्केटिंग मिक्स एंड प्रोडक्ट मिक्स. अब मैंने आपको फिर बोला है कि हमारा AK-47 कहिए या वो कौन सा था ना, बोफोर्स, वो कम्युनिकेशन है. एबिलिटी टू कॉल माँ is the only ammunition or arms that we have. फिर प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट मैंने आपको बताया था, तो उसके टेक्निक्स हैं और उसका मैनेज करने का टेक्निक, मतलब कैसे करना है. देन brand is the epitome of everything that we do in marketing, because brand is the person, as I just told you, that ultimately should be like a person. और कई जगह आप देखेंगे कि अगर आप मैकडॉनल्ड्स के शॉप में जाएंगे, स्टोर पे, तो आप क्या देखेंगे, जोकर बैठा मिलता है. वो जोकर का आप वैसे मेरे को लॉजिकली कोई बताइए कि क्या यूटिलिटी है वहां. तो आप हैमबर्गर खाने जाते हैं, बट इट इज अ मार्केटिंग थिंग, और वो नहीं रहेगा तो नकली है. द मार्केटिंग थिंग इज दैट you will see that Joker is smiling to spread happiness. Okay, एक एयर इंडिया का महाराजा हुआ करता था. Okay, so the brand को आप जितना अलाइव कर सकते हैं कस्टमर के दिमाग में, कस्टमर के क्या बोलते हैं आप, जहन में, कस्टमर के इमेजिनेशन में, परसेप्शन में, उतना आप उसके साथ इंटरैक्ट कर सकते हैं. अब अगर वो इंटरैक्ट आप उसके परसेप्शन के हिसाब से कर रहे हैं, देन ही बिकम्स योर फ्रेंड. और अगर आप उसके परसेप्शन के खिलाफ कर रहे हैं, देन ही बिकम्स योर एनिमी. सो वो हम लोग सीखेंगे. देन स्ट्रैटेजिक ऑप्शंस की भाई, अब अगर मैंने सब कुछ डेवलप कर लिया, ब्रांड भी बना लिया, प्रोडक्ट भी बना लिया, सब कुछ कर लिया, तो और क्या क्या, किस किस तरीके से हम कस्टमर को रीच आउट करते हैं. तो ये है मार्केटिंग टेक्निक्स. एंड दिस इज द एंड फॉर टुडे. एनी क्वेश्चंस? वी हैव अबाउट 5-10 minutes. Okay, if you are not going to ask question, at least answer some. Raise your hands, how many will want to answer. And isse nahi main puchunga. I'm shutting off the presentation. Now tell me, firstly raise your hand, how many of you are going to answer. This is not an exam, koi marks nahi de raha main. Okay, thank you Shreya. Anjali, thank you. Tithi, thank you. वो तो डबल उठा दी, तो 2 क्वेश्चन पूछना है क्या? Okay. Bushra, thank you. अंशज, थैंक यू। सो एक ही क्वेश्चन मैं पूछ रहा हूँ। फर्स्टली, आज जो मैंने बातें करी आपसे, डिड इट मेक सेंस टू यू?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Relatable.
I can't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, my fault, my fault. Did it make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anshaj, did it make sense to you? Okay. Chayan? All right. If it made sense to you, then was there something that you learned?
Yes, sir. A new perspective.
Okay. And the final question, by raise of hand, or you can tell me, how many of you think you would like to make marketing your career? कोई भी नहीं?
Sir, I don't think I have all requisites for that, but yes, in day-to-day life, I think I will use marketing more precisely now.
Okay.
I am more into HR department. Like I have my specialization in HR also. For the last 6 months I was doing that, so I'm more into HR.
Okay. What about Anjali? She's more into finance.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Even
Anshaj?
I would like to say something.
Tithi, yeah, tell me.
Yes, yes. Currently, I am working as a back office assistant in marketing department. And sir, I'm trying it, but not that that I'm more into operations, sir. So, but still, being assistant, it's a very interesting job to pursue.
The only thing,
Yes, sir.
only
Sir,
thing, I'm not to sell.
Yes,
I'm not trying to sell. I just wanted, did it interest you enough? Okay. The idea was to transfer this knowledge and for you to understand whether you are in finance, HR, or wherever, you have to always consistently market yourself.
Exactly.
So,
Right,
so a guy like me, who's a lazy guy, why should I take on any other function? I'll continue to do the same thing outside and inside. That was my logic. But it is hard work, and it is working under the sun, in the rains, and so I will end today's session with a ghazal hai jisko maine adapt kiya hai. Okay. Firstly, marketing is obviously, I can tell you, any other department, any other work that you do, never have as much fun as you can have in marketing. First, you get a variety of people to meet all the time. In all other functions, you meet the same people every day, day in, day out. Okay, so marketing has its own pleasures. The hard work part is, of course, there. So anyway, I'll just end the session now. And this is a ghazal which I have adopted. You must have heard, I think it was sung by Mehndi Hasan. That's where I heard. जिनके होठों पे हंसी पाँव में छाले होंगे बस वही लोग आपके चाहने वाले होंगे. So I have modified it. जिनके होठों पे हंसी पाँव में छाले होंगे, जिनके होठों पे हंसी पाँव में छाले होंगे, बस वही लोग, सिर्फ वही लोग मार्केटिंग वाले होंगे. So that's what it really is. And marketing is about finding fun in the, in the most adverse situations. All right, then we'll meet tomorrow again. I hope, I mean, if there are a few people who have not come, then I hope they come in tomorrow. If they have not come, please convey to them that we can have 2 hours of good fun. The only little bit of, the participation bit was a bit low. So whatever I have told you today, let us look at this being more participative, because from tomorrow, then we will look at what are the opportunities and how you enjoy marketing. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.